Hello and welcome back to a brand new Carnage Gaming video. I appreciate you all for joining me today. We are going to be going over an ultimate beginner's guide to Valorant, showing all of you new players exactly what you need to know in order to practice to get better, and also just overall some little things that you might not know if you have not played games that are like Valorant. Now, if this video does help you, please feel free to sub. The support recently has been absolutely insane. I appreciate you all so much for that. Still, like 97% of you aren't subscribed, so odds are you're not, and we upload daily Valorant content, so be sure to sub. And without any further ado, let's just hop straight into it. So first off, I'm going to be explaining how exactly Valorant works. Again, this guide is going to be more for newer players, but if you are an older player, you've been playing Valorant already, there are still some tips in here that could help you out. So first off, we're just going to explain the 24 round system real quick. Basically, Valorant has 24 rounds. You play 12 on the defender side and 12 on the attacker side. The first team to get to 13 round ends up winning, and if you tie 12 to 12, you go into one overtime round and you start off on whichever side you were on during that last round. Now that's kind of just the basic overall premise of the game. Now we're going to hop into some more in-depth stuff to help you all just get that much better. First off, we're going to be talking about this firing range right here and just explaining the recoil and shooting patterns to all of you. So I've seen a lot of comments just talking about how you don't know exactly how the shooting works in this game, because it's definitely different than any other game a lot of you have played. So first off, we're just going to be talking about how shooting works for the Vandal, because the Vandal is the base gun. This is the gun that most of the pros are using. This is the gun that is the best gun considered right now because of how effective it is. So if we look, first off, we're just going to hold down left mouse button without moving our crosshair at all to see where these bullets go. So if you see, the bullets just go straight up and then side to side, kind of with your crosshair, but a lot of times the bullets don't even go where your crosshair is. So how the recoil works is the first 6 to 8 bullets you shoot are hit scan and will go where your crosshair is pointed. So if I point my crosshair here and shoot 6 bullets, the first couple will go there. You saw my crosshair started moving up, so they shot up. So you have to pull down with your crosshair for your first couple bullets. Then after that, it goes into a recoil pattern. Now these recoil patterns aren't complete full patterns. They'll be a little different every time, but here's the basis to it. You basically shoot and you pull down for a little bit, about this height, depending on how far away you are. You're just gonna want to get used to pulling down about this far, and then after that, the gun sways left to right from that point that you were at. So in order to combat this, you have to sway right to left on the opposite side of where it goes. So here we can see if we pull down, we see that left to right movement. Now whenever it moves left, you're going to want to bring it back right. Whenever it moves right, you need to bring it back left. And now this is really difficult to get used to, especially if you come from a game like Apex Legends or something of that sort, where it basically means where your crosshair is where your bullets go. This game is very different, so you need to make sure you are practicing that just in this shooting range. Aim at a wall. You can even scope in and just shoot and move with your crosshair to try and get those bullets down. Figure out exactly what pattern you need to do, as well as do this skills test just to help improve your aim. You can start it, you can work on one taps, you can work on spraying people down, you can do all sorts of stuff with that skills test, as well as head over here to this little spot and you can aim at this target and spray and try and keep your bullets in the center. Now you can move this farther away, which makes it harder, even all the way to 50 meters to see how good you can actually spray. Also, just aim at heads. As terrible advice as that does sound, keep in mind to just aim at people's heads, because if you do, you can one-hit kill them with the Vandal and a lot of other guns. Next up, we're going to be talking about abilities. I'm trying to get all the information as compact as I can, so I appreciate you all for sticking around for that part. Now with the abilities, we have 3 abilities for each character. You have your signature ability, you have your E ability, and then your Q ability. Now with these abilities, you can do a lot of different things with different agents, but we're just going to be talking about overall when you should be using them. I see a lot of players that just waste their abilities and just kind of throw them out randomly, which isn't exactly what you're going to do, but I also see a lot of players that decide to save their abilities for way too long, and then they just end up not using them at all. If you're playing a character like Jett, for instance, just use your abilities however much you want. You're able to get up to spots. Don't try and save them to try and get into like cool clutch situations or anything like that. We're going to head on over to Omen just to show you guys exactly how the abilities work for him. The main focus here with this part of the guide is going to be using your abilities in ways that help your team, but you don't sit and just hold on to them for forever. You want to use all of your abilities every round as just a bare bones minimum type thing. Try and use your abilities as often as you can, but be effective with them. Don't just throw them out randomly. If you have the option to use an ability, you might as well, okay? If you have the option to use your ultimate, just do it because you'll get it back. Just use those abilities as often as you possibly can so that you're able to help yourself that much more. Another thing to talk about here for you new players is which guns to use in different situations. I see a lot of people asking me, what gun should I buy if I have this many credits, or exactly what situation to play with certain guns you have. So we're just going to go over a couple of the main weapons to use. For instance, the Spectre. This is a great gun to use if you are saving. Now, heavy shields are probably the most important thing that you can buy during these rounds. So heavy shields cost 1,000 and a Spectre costs 1,600. So if you have 2,600 credits, this is a great setup to have. This gun can do a ton of damage even from a distance if you tap. So it's a great little setup. You have this extra 50 health and it's overall good. Now with the Spectre, you're going to want to play more close range engagements, kind of medium distance to close. You can even scope in if you need. But the far range engagements, say there's somebody super far away from you, they're holding some crazy angle with an AWP, a sniper rifle or something, you're not really going to be able to do as much damage as you do hope to do to them. That took me a while just to kill that bot. So you see, it doesn't really work for far range engagements. Now, the next gun we're going to go over is really all of the rifles. You can play all of the rifles about the same. We'll just buy the Phantom here. You can play them from those longer range distances by tapping. So here you can tap towards the head in order to get the kills. You can burst, so shoot out like 3 to 4 bullets. Or you could spray. Spraying you should save for closer range engagements, but spraying could also help. So here we see they're pretty far away. Let's bring them a little closer. It's more efficient to just hold down left click than it would be to tap or to burst fire here. So just hold down left click, keep your crosshair on them, and you will do as much damage as possible. These other weapons, you're going to want to just hold angles with, for instance, the snipers. If you have an operator, don't push up and peek people. Just hold some certain angle and wait for them to come. This is the best way to get free kills with this. After you get the kill on this angle, you're going to want to back off, hold some other angle so they don't expect you there, and just keep on getting kills as they do push out. Another thing that I've been asked a ton in the comment section is, what agent should I play? Now, there are 10 total agents in the game right now, but something to keep in mind as you get your key and start playing the game is you can only unlock 2 after the 5 free ones you have. So you start out with 5 free agents, and that's Sage, Phoenix, Jet, Brimstone, and Sova. You start with those, but then there are 5 more that you have to unlock on your own. Now you can only unlock 2 at the start, and then the last 3 agents take a long time to grind. So there are going to be 3 agents that you're basically not able to play overall until you grind up the game for a while. So keep this in mind while unlocking those first agents, and let's just go over each one. For instance, Brimstone is great at supporting his teammates. He can use his smokes super effectively in order to just help his teammates out. So if you like to play a support role and overall help your teammates get onto site and be very good at communicating, Brimstone is definitely a good character for you. Jet and Phoenix both are very skilled duelist agents here. If you are a aggressive player that likes to push in and go for frags, play Jet or Phoenix. You're able to flash out with Phoenix, get crazy places super quick with Jet. Definitely 2 good players to play if you like to be those fraggers on the team. Raze is a good agent to play no matter who you are. Raze is kind of an overpowered agent right now. She has a lot of damage abilities. You just kind of have to throw grenades places and hope for the best, and you will get kills. So Raze is a good option right now just because of how cheesy a lot of her moves are. So go ahead and pick her if you do feel like that. Omen is good if you like to be kind of like Brimstone. If you like hiding places and kind of just sitting back and waiting, Omen's pretty good for you. As well as kind of the same thing with Sova. Sova's good at finding out where enemies are by shooting your recon bolts in and then sitting back and playing off of that. If we go over here to Breach, Breach is better at holding an entire site by himself or an entire lane by himself. So if you're kind of a solo player, you like playing on your own and just holding your own, Breach is a great player for you. Cypher and Viper are both kind of similar in the fact that they're able to hold places by themselves as well. Viper uses her abilities to block off different viewpoints and also damage enemies, whereas Cypher uses his to reveal the locations of enemies and also see where the viewpoints are. So Cypher, if you are trying to just sit back, find out where the enemies are, great player for you. Viper, if you're trying to block off their entrances and then eventually get the kills while they try and sneak in, is a great option for you. The last one we have here is Sage. Sage is a great player to have on really any composition for your team. You're able to have that heal, that wall, that slow orb, even the resurrection ability. So if you like being a healer, Sage is the best agent for you. She's almost essential to a lot of these team compositions. Guys, that is kind of the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed. This was kind of for those new players that are just getting into the game, haven't played these FPS genres very much. I know a lot of you want those advanced tips and tricks videos, and we will have more coming out. One is coming tomorrow with 14 advanced tips and tricks, so stay on the lookout for that. I appreciate you all for watching this a little bit longer video. Hopefully if you're still watching at the end, you did learn something. If you're not subscribed and you just watched all the way through, hit that sub button to help me see some of the support. Comment down below and I'll reply to every single one of them. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.
We put the work in, we came together like a Sunday service. Patiently waiting, it made me nervous. I got demons and servants, they steady lurking. Mama told me I had greater purpose. Ever since I was little, I wasn't certain. I got to searching and I found it worth it. Look at my life, feel my pain.